Yeah, I'm working for a men's fashion blog basically, and today I will talk a bit about the blog and then showing on like 3 video productions that I had produced, and one of them is a fashion porn. And I have just like 10 minutes, so I could start to talk about the porn. The whole idea of me is to get the fashion. I see like fashion like one circle here, and I try to get from different fields, bring it together to fashion, and then create something new. And the thing with the porn was that I thought, okay, we have like fashion films these days, why not bring it together, a porn and a fashion film? That was the idea, and I will show it later if that works. Oh yeah, perfect. Cool. Ja. Oh ja, wo geht das hier? Einfach hier. Oh ja. Oh yeah, perfect. So during the school days, I was just like a normal boy, I would say, like playing soccer and stuff like that, and dressing up for clubs. But during these days, I realized, okay, I really like to write. So I applied for different schools that offered journalism, sport journalism, fashion journalism. And the fashion school took me, so that was the reason why I'm standing here and now a fashion blogger. It's kind of interesting how this little thing turned my whole career in a different, otherwise I would be maybe a soccer player or something like that. And during my final exam at the university of the fashion school, I started to create Dandy Diary. And the main or the first things that I create there was like outfit posts. So it was just about me basically, an outfit post. And I had the chance to work together with a photographer. So we started to make photos in different, there in a corner, and started to get in different like photo series, like 4 photos in one series, and that was the start, the begin. And if I look at these pictures, for me, fashion is like a thing that really drives me, and that's my passion, because I love to create a different image every time of me. One day I'm looking like a hippie, like today maybe, and the next day to have a more like a smart look in a suit and stuff like that. And I like fashion because it's so fast. If you look into the future, it's a topic that goes on and on and on. And if you're working with fashion, then you could look easily to like 2 years, 3 years in the next topic. So if you go into different countries, maybe London is pretty like forecasting, and there you see a lot. And now I will show you some pictures of my. Here I'm hanging in a friend's place. He's a butcher, so there I was hanging with some pigs. And I think that's also like the good point about Dandy Diary, that we want to go to the next step. And fashion is always like a elite thing, and I want to destroy that with Dandy Diary, to break the whole thing, because I'm not really into the glamorous way of fashion. I think there's another way to do fashion in a way. Maybe hanging there in a kitchen. And here it's more like a suit, here in front of horses. This picture my mom and my sister really liked, so with the whole horse thing. And which is also kind of interesting, because I would say that I'm part of a kind of new movement in terms of men's, because for me it's allowed to like fashion or love fashion. But if I'm talking to my granny, she was always really like kind of afraid and asked me, okay, David, why you into fashion? Like, you should go more in the journalist direction, because fashion, the men's, they are kind of different in a way, she always said to me. And I said, no, Granny, don't worry, I'm not like different, as you call it. And I think with me, it's a whole generation of men that are, for them, it's okay to like fashion in a way. Here it's in Lisbon, a picture. And I'm also kind of happy to work every time with different photographers, because I'm working beside of Dandy Diary for Fashion Daily TV, which is an online TV, and I get the chance to travel around the world and having these kind of cool photographers with me. And if I'm thinking about blogging in general, like the big plus of blogging for companies, I would say that is identification. So if the viewers look at me and I say, okay, I love that, then they start to think, or the viewers will easier go in and say, okay, maybe it's cool. I think it's a shorter way than look into a magazine and having this advertisement. So for me, it's quite clear that I, as a company, would say, okay, I should put my money in the 5 biggest blogs here in Germany and try to get my label into it, the whole thing. Here it's in a park in Berlin, and here as a homeless guy with beard, and here in the desert in Israel, and here in the jungle in Brazil. And I had the luck that the media here in Germany, like Spiegel, ZDF, RTL, and Welt, and stuff like this, they started to write about me really early. And that was kind of important for me in the beginning, because we have like tons of blogs out there, and it's not that easy to stand out of the whole thing. And with the help of the medias, it was kind of possible to get really early into the tops of men's fashion blogs. During that time, I started, okay, there is a potential, there's a niche in terms of fashion blogs in Germany. So I decided to ask one of my friends, Jacob, if you would like to work with me to bring it to another level, to get more content. Because you're always under pressure in a way, or I have the feeling that I'm under pressure to blog. So I asked Jacob, and that's Jacob. That's the guy behind me, and now we're working together more professional, as you could see. And yeah. Yeah, if I'm thinking about the points why Dandy Diary is successful and other fashion blogs are not that successful, I would say the first point is the focus. I think it's important to have your focus. What do you want to do? As I said before, we have like millions of blogs out there, so you should have a idea what you want to say, what you want to do. And with Dandy Diary, it was from the first time just men's fashion, and that's it. And that was a plus, because if I'm looking into or other blogs, they often go in different, having women's fashion, this. I think the niche is important to be successful. The second thing is on and offline. With Dandy Diary, we try to create also like an offline experience. I think we started to have in parties. We started in Berlin as a hometown, then in Hamburg with Jacob, and then in Munich with Patrick Moore. And I think it's important to make your label, to make your blog visible outside of the internet, and that's the offline thing. And the last, but maybe most important part why Dandy Diary is successful is the opinion. Because we don't have that, or we don't have any costs to produce content. And that's with fashion magazines, it's a different thing. You need money to produce content, the print magazines. And we kind of independent, I would say, because we could be quite clear from our vision to say, okay, that's what I don't like, and that's what I like. And that's kind of rare in the industry. And that's what we do in the Dandy Diary. For example, we had a Berlin Fashion Week like 2 seasons ago, and then we said like, okay, we're telling you like 3 no-go shows where you should never go, because that's really, really dangerous to see, because it's just ugly. And that's kind of rare if you have strong opinion. Yeah, in terms of money, of course, we want to earn money with the whole thing. And that's why I'm telling you that we're not 100% independent, I would say. Because, of course, we need to make the compromise to earn money with that. We have like 2 options to earn money with Dandy Diary. The first one is advertorials, like the PR agencies ask us if we want to work with them and if we want to write about a label. And then we look up a label and look if it fits with Dandy Diary in a way. And then they tell us what we will get from them for that. And then we make a deal, and that's right, all right, often. And the second version is banner advertisement that we have also on Dandy Diary. And therefore, we're working together with Claire Media, the guy here. And yeah, they book for us like the banner advertisement. And I would say it's a good thing to work with a company like Clem Media, because you could be more focused on the important stuff for you as a blogger, on the content, on the pictures, and not dealing with companies about banner advertisement and stuff like this. So that's good. And on the other hand, I also believe that it's like if you have like one blogger, you don't have that much power. But if you have like 5 or 10 really good bloggers, then you're getting more power. And it's still like kind of, it's still kind of funny what do you get for offers. Like I was once getting an offer from a company that I should go to a women's soccer game and for a cell phone company, and during the break I should play with a cell phone a bit. And there was kind of, and that's it. And that was the offer. And that was kind of funny because, okay, I'm a men's fashion blogger, I never would go to a women's game for soccer. And you often get like really, really weird offers from the companies because they still don't or didn't realize, or not all of them, but many of them not realize that bloggers or to be on a blog is often kind of the same advantage as being in a magazine and stuff like this. But now it's changing, and I have also the feeling that it's changing. So, yeah, and that. I worked really long on that with the circles and stuff like that. So that's basically the idea what I had before. Like for me, in this time in my life, I have the feeling that like fashion is this circle here, and I try to get on this field something on this field, and then bring it together, and then create something new. And yeah, and now I will show you the first video. Yeah, a sound. Oh, yeah. So the first video is it's called Flip the Bird, and the first video it's about like maybe you know it from the childhood, from the school, many ways to show off like the Stinkefinger. Maybe you know that, yeah. Oh yeah. So and the idea was to it works. Yeah, videos, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Good. And the first, or the idea is to bring together, to show off Flip the Bird with fashion. That was the main idea with that. And, yeah. Oh yeah, on sound.
Je deviens fou. Je suis en train de chercher les miens de partout. Et je deviens cinglé. Et il m'en reste une.
What are you thinking right now?
That was the first video. So yeah, there, as I told you, I spoke with a lot of kids, and they told me, okay, this and this different types of showing the Flip the Bird. And I also think that in fashion, it's always like a really kind of serious topic. But I think there are a lot of stuff to do where you could go in a different direction and play around with it. So that's basically the idea with that. And the second video I want to show you, I won't play it the whole, the long, because we don't have that much time. But the idea, or it's called Judgment Day. And there, basically, the idea is that I'm dressing up and going to people that are really involved into fashion. And that's also a bit the idea of, to go on the street and really ask the people. Because we always, like as I said before, the fashion industry is kind of elite industry. So why not go into a butcher and ask them, what do you think about the high fashion thing? And that's called Judgment Day. Yeah, perfect. And we just show the beginning, yeah. Ah, okay, works. kurz nochmal Play drücken vielleicht. Ja? Oh ja, shit. Oh ja. Oh ja. Oh ja. Gehe ich hier einfach rein? Also. Oh yeah, now you get in the butchers, not the kids, if that's okay for you.
Also für mich ist das keine Mode. Nee.
Also ich finde es persönlich nicht, aber vielleicht andere schon. Keine Ahnung.
Du hast einen Vogel. Also mein Sohn würde so nicht darum laufen. Also würde ich ihm beneiden.
Niemals. Weil das würde ich nicht mal an Karneval tragen, so wie das aussah. Die Hose, das sah aus, die Schlapperhose, als ob du dich vollgeschissen hättest. Doch, das ist echt so. Also ich würde grundsätzlich sowas niemals tragen. Nee.
Du hast einen Vogel.
Alright, cool. So that was, because the last video that I want to show is like the fashion porn, as I said before. So the idea with the fashion porn I had like maybe 1 year before I actually produced it. And it was kind of, or the idea was kind of, okay, kind of cool. Okay, you should have a fashion porn. But at the end, it turned out really kind of tough and kind of weird to produce it actually, because I had a casting with a cameraman in my home and at my flat. And then I had this kind of weird couple sitting on my bed, you know. And then at one point I said to them, okay, now we should try that if you could fuck in front of me. And it was kind of difficult to find a couple that looks cool in a way, fashionable, but is still able to make out in front of the camera. It was quite clear that we can't find like a porn star couple. So we asked this couple, and here, these two. And afterwards, I gave them money, of course, for that. And afterwards, they just, the next day after the porn production, they went to Bali or something with the money. And yeah, and we booked a really expensive studio for that. It was kind of, we paid like in total like 2,000 whatever for the whole production. But yeah, and then to come, it was like 2 days on Dandy Diary. And then I get like letters because it wasn't allowed to have porn on your fashion blog, of course. And then Danish site called me and they wanted the video and they make like the censored version out of it. And that's the only version you could see right now on the World Wide Web. And here we go. Yeah. So that was the final of my little speech. So if you have any questions about the porn or other production, then I would be happy to answer your questions. Oh, thanks.